Welcome to part 2 of the Sxcs round 3. In part 1, we had the 8-hour challenge on Friday, where Heidi and I joined the team and rode our bikes for 8 hours, where we had some stiff competition.
And as always, my race was an adventure. After the 8-hour race ended at 2 a.m., Saturday brought another host of events, which started with a trail ride where you could go out with family and friends. Sxcs brought in food vendors throughout the weekend, and we ended the evening with an awesome, fantastic fireworks show.
And on Sunday was the main race, the GP. Let's find out what it's all about. Kendall. The Sxcs had a full weekend of riding opportunities. We just finished up the part 1, the 8-hour challenge team race, and now it's Saturday. And be honest with you, I really don't feel like riding on Saturday, but this is a beautiful part of the country. We're in Western Maryland. As I spent my Saturday hanging out with family and friends, many got out and hit the trails. The Sxcs gives the opportunity for family and friends to hang out on Saturday and go out and ride the trails. They brought in vendors, whether you wanted a shaved ice or some barbecue. Many times, family and friends come to watch you race, but they're really not into racing. But the Sxcs gives them the opportunity on the Saturday before the race to come out and hit the trails. Some people didn't feel like riding on Saturday from the 8-hour challenge, so they just went out and toured and visited the area.
Saturday gave me the opportunity to ride with my daughter. She's 15 and just starting out, and she hit the single track like nobody's business. I can't believe how much she's improved, and hopefully I'll see her on the starting line one day.
The trail ride gives father and son, mother and daughter, friends and family the chance to get out on the trails to test out their bikes and skills. I love this opportunity to get out and ride with my wife Heidi, even though we didn't get a chance this day because we both was very tired. But it was awesome seeing friends and family out here ripping their dirt bikes and having a blast. At the end of the day Saturday, the Sxcs provided fireworks, and they were awesome. The perfect way to end a day. But now it's Sunday, race day, the main event, and this is a GP, and we're going to tell you what a GP is all about. The GP, the way I look at it, is something between motocross and hare scrambles. Basically, you have motos. This is going to be a 30-minute moto. You get as many laps as fast as you can in that 30 minutes. The course is normally not as long. This one is just a little over 2 miles and usually not as technical. On race day, you'll get a sheet of the moto lineup. In each class that you sign up for, you will have 2 motos, 2 30-minute motos. But you're able to line up for more than one class. They give you opportunities to race up to 3 times a day. For an example, I'm 50 years old. I ran the 40A class, but most of the time I would normally ride the 40A class, the 50A class, and also the open class. But since I was wore out from the weekend's events, I only ran the 40A class. After you pick your races and find out what moto that you run, you line up at the start. After you find out what classes that you are in, it is a dead engine start, and then once the first row goes, about every 30 seconds another row will go. Typically the rows have more than one classes in it, so you will have to follow your helmet collar to know who's in your class. And then after everybody is out on the trail, you try to go as fast as possible with the least amount of mistakes. It doesn't matter how old you or your bike is. There's a class for everybody. You could be a 60-year-old on a 50 or a 60-year-old on a 1970. There's a class out here made for you, just so you can get out on the trail and experience a GP. This GP had a little bit of everything. It had motocross, it had the field section, it had some woods, and it had some rock gardens. This is my old friend Dave Rudman getting the whole shot. If you watched the Hangover race, he's the one that battled me clear to the end. Make sure you check out that video if you haven't seen it. Another thing I enjoy about the GP, you get to go out and watch family and friends. This is my son Damien's best friend, Blake, getting the whole shot.
10 seconds.
So this is my line, and it consists of the women's C class, and there's also a class that has guys in it for forward. And the old KTM fired up, and I pulled the whole shot off for the girl line. I almost got passed by Lisa, but I gassed it and got into, obviously you can see the dusty, I couldn't see the track, but was able to get into the woods.
For the girl. My son Damien was out taking awesome photos the entire day. Make sure you check out Photo Hawk to find a photo of you. That's Photo Hawk. Check him out on Facebook and SmugMug.
Good job, sweetie! Good job!
Heidi doesn't get on the bike very often, but when she does, I love watching her, especially whenever she's leading the pack.
I think she should be coming through. Sounds like her. Yep.
So the first moto, I was feeling pretty decent. I did have noodle arms. Unfortunately, in the garden section, rock section, I messed up, and Lisa and Jessica were able to get around me. And I just kept having bikes following in front of me. One guy fell on top of me and could not even get close to pull myself out of fifth place. So I was ready to start hitting Moto 2 soon. The thing about it is,
Heidi was able to get off the bike and come down and assist me. Although she didn't have time to clean the dust off her face, she was there to support me. Now it's time for my race. Let's see what a full lap looks like at the GP. As you can tell, I'm back on the old RMZ 450. It's not much for whole shots, but I felt it was the bike for the day. As I was watching other riders out on their motocross track today, I thought, man, I'm going to show them I'm going to dominate this motocross track. But as you can see, it was slick. And basically, I just was wanting to survive. You cannot believe how slick this dust was. And whenever I came around for the second laps, my arms were so tired, I basically rolled about everything. Although in other races I have done all the step ups, I have never did the step downs. Those things scare me for some odd reason. This is part 2 of the Sxcs round 3, the GP. Make sure you check out part 1, which we discussed the 8-hour challenge team race and show you what it was all about. And make sure you like and subscribe to our channel if this is the type of stuff you enjoy watching. I was talking to Dave Redmond, and he was telling me how bad he got arm pump. And I thought, oh, you little sissy. I won't get arm pump. I never get arm pump. But for some odd reason, this track wore my arms out. I don't know if it was from the night race or what the deal was, but it was so choppy that you had to hold on every turn. This was my favorite area out in the field. Is a slight uphill, but you could rip all the way up, and it had a cool little rock section right at the end. Hey, Joe. After getting off of the Beta 300RR, the old 450 felt like a road wagon. Definitely have to make some adjustments for Moto 2. Prior to the race, I came down and looked at the rock garden and had my line picked out, but I tell you, I couldn't find it. I hit this rock garden a different way every time. Other than the motocross, this is the only section I could find where my competition was, and as you can see, they were right behind me. This is a game of seconds. And that's one full lap at the Sxcs Round 3 GP. Yep, there was Mario from Two Wheel Rider. Make sure you check out their podcast. They do an awesome job at bringing out information for the two-wheel riders.
So as Kenny said, this GP, he brought out the old 450 Suzuki so he could hit those jumps on the motocross track. And as always, he did not disappoint. I would do 3 laps of my motos, and he would do 5. So he did an awesome job and took away the win.
Thanks, boys, for pointing out some awesome lines. Man, that was painful to watch. That was not a good line through the rock garden. So I'm starting to catch some lappers, and I realized who this was. This is my old pit bike partner, Patrick. I thought I'd give him a hard time and see how he handles some pressure. But the crazy thing about it is he lost his gear shifter. He lets me around him. Come to find out that he didn't even show up for the second race. So I messaged him to see if he was okay. And he was telling me about losing his gear shifter. And when I was down at the rock garden watching Heidi, I found it. And I was able to get it mailed back to him. I'm a pretty nice guy, but I am very competitive, and whenever it's a game of seconds, I seem to get a little louder on my pass call. Don't hold it against me. I'm just aggressive and wanting to win. Well, that's Moto 1 in the 48 class. We're wrapping it up and getting ready to go out and watch Heidi and see how she does on Moto 2. The one thing about the GP, you don't realize the classes behind you, they can win the overall. Even though I physically won the overall, here's Tyler. He actually, from the line behind me, won the overall. I was actually second in the overall. So after I finish it up, I let my arms relax and go down and check Heidi, see how she's doing at the rock garden.
So after not wanting to race anymore, I decided to take some more leave and get my arms loosened up, and I was ready for Moto 2. I was so amazed how well I hit both of the rock sections. It was great I didn't pull whole shot, I was last off the line, but I passed a couple people before I got into the woods, dug deep, picked good lines, and was able to pull off a second place win in Moto 2, which put me at third overall for the GP. Unfortunately, I got some work to do, but it made me definitely feel good to know that I could hit some good lines on this track.
The rock garden definitely was the biggest challenge of the GP, and Heidi, she mastered it, but on the last lap, she definitely showed how to use some clutch.
It was funny that how many people came up to me after the race and asked me if my clutch was burned out. But to me, that's how it usually sounds. When I hit a section, I'm definitely a clutcher. The old KTM clutch was winding. The fan was turning on. Here, I got my foot stuck in a rock, and I was trying to catch my balance, as you can tell with the tree, thank God. But I was leaving it all on the track. I was pretty much done. It was hot. My arms were tired from the 8-hour, but I got it balanced. As you can see, Nancy's like yelling at me. Kenny's yelling at me. A lot of people yelling at me. But I let that clutch wind and was able to go to the rocks and balance my way through and went to the finish.
I don't know how that clutch is not burned out.
Thank you. You too, Kenny. You're really far away.
So as the day came to the conclusion, this is the Women's C podium. I was so proud of Jessica Riddle. I think this was actually her first podium finish. She did a hard, solid second place. My friend Lisa Audette got fourth. She definitely should have been up on podium. As you can see, I got third, but it was a good way to end the weekend. My buddy Amanda Knapp got second in the women's B class, and as always, she and Nancy are there to be one of my supporters.
I want that one.
They make the weekend worthwhile.
10 seconds.
30 seconds.
Time for the last moto of the day. This is Moto 2 for the 40A class. So this is Dave Rose and my good friend Christian. Christian and I, we race together a lot, and he's an awesome guy. He even helped get a splinter out of Heidi's finger and fix a flat tire, which made him late for his own race. What a swell guy to have on your side. So at the last Sxcs, which was the sprint cross, Dave and I, we battled the entire day, and I actually ended up getting him at the end of the day by seconds. So I knew Dave was out to win. So let's find out and see how she turns out. As we watch Dave make me dust, make sure you like this video if it's something you're interested in, and make sure you subscribe to our channel. This is what we're all about. We go out and try all race events that we can get to and let you know, the rider or the racer, what it's all about. I've never ran a GP until Billy and Nancy brought it to the Sxcs, and I actually enjoy the GP. It gives you opportunity to go out and rip and then come back and watch your best friend or wife go out and hit the trails. But that's what we're all about, trying different things and bringing them to you so you can know what it's all about before you even leave the house or pack the truck. But we also go out and hit hiking trails. We do ride parks, let you know if there's camping, lodging, what the trails are all about, and we bring this information to you. Unfortunately, we haven't got to go to as many ride parks this year due to the COVID and everything being shut down, but this is a long-term project for us. We're just getting started, and hopefully we can bring you a lot of different places and areas to check out and see if it's somewhere you want to go and try out yourself. But thanks for watching, and make sure you subscribe to our channel. I didn't realize the first moto, but this track, the layout was pretty tough to pass on. It's pretty single line, in the woods, and then in the fields and on the motocross it was dusty. Here I thought I had a line on him, but he got a little messed up. Hey, if you're in the podcast, make sure you watch Nancy's Dirt Bike Girl Adventures. She's getting a podcast started. She's got several good guests so far, and make sure you check it out. On the last lap of the Moto 1, I had a pretty decent line across the bottom here. Although it was smooth, it wasn't as fast as Dave's line through the main rock section. Good job, Dave. Dave was ripping and leaving me in the dust. Unfortunately, I didn't clean off my lens of the camera, not thinking about the dust. But we head into the checker flag for lap 1 of Moto 2. And again, my arms were not liking the old GP with the 450, and I used the motocross to relax my arms a little bit, and he definitely pulled a little gap on me. That's my son Damien telling me to get my butt in gear. He does that quite often.
You okay, bud?
After making sure Dave is okay, it's time to start ripping some gears and get to the finish line. Alright, as I wrap up Moto 2 of the GP, I'm running first, and I thought first overall. But the one thing you got to realize, the people behind you, I was checking and seeing I had a pretty decent gap and backed off the last couple laps, but you can't do that if you're wanting your overall. And basically it's like motocross. If you got a first and a second,
I'm done.
that's the moto. They don't go by the time.
No.
So I got a second and a second, and the other gentleman got a third and a first, and that gave him the first for the overall, and I got second overall. This is the gentleman coming in right here. They got first overall. Something happened to Tyler, and he wasn't able to finish the second race. But thanks for watching. Make sure you subscribe to our channel. I hope this was beneficial to you and a little bit entertaining. We want to get the information out to you so you can find a race or a trail that's suitable for you. Thanks for watching.
Instead of coming through scoring.
Oh, really?
Boy, I was third for a while.
What's that?
I was third for a while.
Oh, was you?
Yeah. I was getting a little concerned.
He led me.